Welcome back to another episode of Nick's Nerd Network. We're going to be covering one of my favorite TV shows from my childhood that I recently just rewatched finally sequentially, and that's Disney's Gargoyles. And it's actually also part of the Marvel Universe, which is pretty cool. So let's get started. This is Nick's Nerd Network, and I'm Nick. So why should you watch this show? This show is great. It started off in 1994. I feel like it was one of those cartoons that was way ahead of its time. It ran for about 3 years. There was 3 seasons, I believe like 74 episodes, and a weird kind of like movie thing at the end where they changed the animation. And this show, it's really action-packed. It's full of Scottish mythology, which is something that there's not a lot of TV shows that have that. It covers racial discrimination, it covers gun violence, it has amazing characters that are really inspiring and relatable, and then there's a lot of villains. They're not the typical cookie cutter villains, they're more of that kind of like operating in a gray area where it's like, you're not some maniacally evil laughing monster sitting in the top of your castle. Well, there is a literal castle and a bad guy kind of that lives there. But aside from that, all of them, like, they're businessmen or people who don't understand or people who aren't educated about like diversity or they're not open-minded, and it's kind of like the people who are the villains of today. And I think that it's a relatable show that kids could be watching now that would help soften them and help to make them a little bit more understanding of others. Now, the show itself is about Goliath, who's the leader of the Gargoyles, and his entire clan. They were frozen in stone for over 1,000 years. They wake up in present-day New York, which was 1995 in the TV show, so it's not really present day anymore. And they're adjusting to life there. They have to stay in secret because people don't understand who they are. They're afraid of them. They have a few human allies. A local cop friend named Elisa. She is a really strong, tough female character. She's also biracial, which was really cool for like the time. And she was just a really strong character. She helps keep them grounded. She helps inform them of what's going on in the present day. And she's overall just a really cool character. Also, the main villain is also a human being. He's the one that actually brings them back to life to use as servants. And he ends up becoming their enemy. They go on many adventures. The thing is, they have like a major weakness. They're strong. They can glide. They can't fly. They can only glide. So they can't just like fly straight from the ground. They have to climb up buildings and then jump off. So they are limited, and they're protecting the city, and they are just really great characters all around. One of their many weaknesses, they turn to stone by day, and then at night they come back alive, so they're vulnerable all day long. So they need human allies like Elisa to help make sure they're in a safe place or protected or hidden during the daytime, so that way, because they could easily just be smashed by a baseball bat or a sledgehammer in the daytime. So this show actually means a lot to me. It is like, it incorporates so much historical things that really happened into a fictional universe, and it kind of fills in the gaps and makes it historical fiction. And it's just really neat. Like the Gargoyles time travel. There's like some Odyssey type things where they're going on long adventures. It tackles a lot of delicate topics such as racism, but not in a traditional way, because they are like, it seems like in this city all people seem to be equal. I mean, Elisa, the main character, she is mixed race. She is part African American and she is part Native American, and the racism is about that. She's treated as an equal because she's a human. So it's kind of like almost like this world where everyone is like okay and accepting of one another, but what they're not accepting of is gargoyles. So they're afraid of them. People who have discovered them are hunting them. They see them as terrifying and scary. And they're putting the gargoyles in the role that other minorities would be in other plot lines about racism. So it's a commentary about racism without directly targeting racism, to kind of like help kids be more understanding and be more accepting and learn like you can't judge a book by its cover. You can't believe stereotypes and things like that. I would also say that it's just like overall, there's so much action. The storyline's really great. Growing up, I didn't have cable, so I could only watch it every once in a while with my grandparents. I never got to watch it sequentially. But now that I've watched it recently sequentially, I saw like what a great show it was. It was so ahead of its time. It was super complex, like not too complex that a kid would understand, but it was a show that really made you think. And that's just one of the many things that I loved about it. The characters, they were vulnerable. They weren't overpowered superheroes. Like that, I hate superheroes that like can't be hurt, can't die, they have nothing to lose. Like I love characters with substance, and that's what the Gargoyles and Elisa are like. So I would say that my favorite characters, one of which is Elisa, she's probably one of my top characters because she's probably one of the most vulnerable characters in the show, but she's also super tough. She's not the damsel in distress type character. I mean, she gets saved sometimes, but she's an equal to them. She protects them in the day, they protect her at night, and she's a really tough cop. She's a great representation of culture. She is like just super strong. She doesn't fall into any sort of stereotypes. And she's just a really strong character. She keeps them grounded. She keeps them informed. She keeps them, because I mean, these are all powerful creatures that are being discriminated against. It'd be easy for them to lash out against people. She helps keep them grounded and helps them see the goodness in humanity, even if other people aren't treating them so well. And it's really a lot like the LGBT and gay community, because we do face a lot of oppression depending on where we live or who we're around that treat us badly. We have to remember that there's those good people out there that are allies and that can help us out and be kind to us. Another character I really like is Angela. I can't give out too much information about Angela because it would give you too many spoilers for later on in the season. But she's a favorite character of mine, another strong female character. There's also Demona, another strong female character. It's funny that this show, the main characters are mostly males, but a lot of the strongest characters are females, which is, again, ahead of its time. Love the show. It's great. So Demona, she is kind of like one of the bad guys, sort of, but like understandably a bad guy. The whole time Goliath and his clan were locked away in stone, she was actually living on Earth for 1,000 years and experiencing all the discrimination and the hate and the mistreatment by the humans. So she's developed the prejudice against them and is attacking them and trying to get rid of them. And Goliath and his clan don't agree with her, and they're fighting her to keep the human beings safe, even though the humans aren't treating them very well. So it's understandable. She's kind of like a Magneto type character where she sees herself as superior and mistreated, and she's going to treat them the way that they've been treating her. Another character I really like a lot is Brooklyn. He is second in command to Goliath. I'll be honest, Goliath's kind of a boring character. He gets better as the season goes on, but a lot of the more minor characters appeal to me more. So Brooklyn is his second in command. Brooklyn is, I would say, probably the most relatably human gargoyle there is on the show. He experiences a lot of strong feelings, whether it's like worry about being a strong leader or living up to Goliath's expectations, or his love life, or jealousy about certain things. He is not overly super strong like Goliath is. He's more of a thinker. He's sometimes a little bit hot-headed. He's a young guy, or a young gargoyle. But he's really great overall character, and I love to see him develop as the show goes on. Tell me what you guys think. Please check out the show if you can find it somewhere to watch. I highly recommend it. It's a Disney Channel show, but check it out. It's from the 1995, and it's older. But again, it was ahead of its time. I think it's much more relatable now than it was then. So check it out. That's all I had for this episode. This is Nick signing off. Bye. Hi, if you like this episode of Nick's Nerd Network, please like and subscribe, or visit our new channel. And when you're on the new channel, check out my new banner. That was made by my friend Jesse. Please check out his website. He's really talented, and I'll leave the link in the description. He's great for all of your graphic design needs.